सो है गाइस, आज हमारा टॉपिक है सॉफ्टवेयर डिजाइन प्रिंसिपल. दिस इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक व्हेन इट कम्स टू सिस्टम डिजाइन, स्पेशली इन एलएलडी. So before jumping into directly into these principles and explaining them, I will like to make you understand that why these principles are important, how they help, and why we should focus on them. Okay. So basically, these principle explains you, helps you, or guide you to make a code which is more maintainable, scalable, flexible, and easy to understand. Now, usually when we talk about some code or we talk about the what we say when we talk about at the code level, people generally focuses on the optimization level. That is very important, but along with optimization you need to follow some practices which will help you to make your code maintainable, scalable, and flexible, and easy to maintain, easy to read. Now, why that's important? Because when a team is involved, system grows over the time. It becomes slowly it's become really hard to maintain that code. So when you use these design principle, what you are doing, uh, you are making an application which will scale over a time, which can grow, which have a scope to grow. So that's why this topic is important and you should go. Now we will start with the design principle. Our very first design principle is dry. So total we have four type of principle: dry, case, Yagni, and solid. Solid further has its own five types. We will go through the video. This video is going to be a little long, so you can take breaks in between. Okay. So let's begin. So our first principle is dry. Dry. So what dry principle says? So basically, dry principle says don't repeat yourself. Okay. Then what does don't repeat yourself means? I guess it is very clear to all by its name only, that there is only one source of truth for every piece of knowledge or business rule. What does this mean? This means if you have written a code, अगर आपने कोई लॉजिक लिख दिया, लेट्स से आपने एक सिंपल स्ट्रिंग को स्प्लिट करने का भी लॉजिक लिखा है, or there are many parts which are going to split in a similar way, then this principle says you do not need to write that split logic each and every time. You can use that same logic with the help of function each and every time. So this is what dry principle says. What is KISS principle now? KISS principle says keep it simple, stupid. What does this mean? This means choose the simplest design that solves the problem well. So as it says, you do not need to keep many like what we say, you do not need to overcomplicate your code without any reason. Keep it in the simplest way. Write the simplest way of code you can write. Don't do list comprehension. Don't use lambda unless it's necessary. That's what KISS principle says. Then it comes with Yagni. What Yagni says, you aren't gonna need it. Build only what is actually required today, not tomorrow guesses. Okay. So you need to design code like that, that you only build the system, you only write the code, you only write the logic for the things you read just right now. Don't think of things that you may need after some time you are involving it. You need to design it in that way that you may extend it, you may write code for that afterwards, and it may get extended and much very efficiently, but you don't need to actually code it. You are making space for that logic basically, but you are not actually writing it. Okay, you are just writing the logic which you need today. That's what Yagni says. Then comes solid principle, OOP design principle. So basically these design principles are for object oriented programming. What are they? We will understand. So what basically it says, it refers modular code with clear roles and loose coupling between the part. Okay. So what does this mean is that your code should be very clear, independent, and should run and should be very maintainable. So we will understand how it helps. So let's deep dive into each one of them one by one. Okay. So now let's start with dry principle first. So what dry principle says, every piece of knowledge lives in one place. A change only needs to be made once. Prevent inconsistent behavior from copy paste logic. Fix our new missed across duplicate code. Okay. So firstly, I guess you have understood what dry principle said. Now why it is important. So see, let's say you have written a code and have copy pasted it many places wherever you need. Now a small change came, and now certainly you need to revise all code logic. Let's say you have used the same code of logic in 10 different methods. Then now you need to change that in all 10 methods. And if you missed at one place, then your logic breaks. So that why we say don't repeat yourself, so that even if you need to change a code, you have some logical change, then you do not need to change the entire code base. You don't need to look through it that where this might be repeated, how it will be done. And let's say you are not there, some other engineer is working on it who don't know exactly how many services shares that code. Now he had to look after that code, so it's not a good practice. That's why we should not do it. Okay, so if you go through a real world example, then cart page, checkout page, invoice generator, they all, what the basic functionality is there, they show price, they calculate price after discount, tax and other thing. If you write a pricing logic in each one of that service, then just let's say a rule come, like new GST rule come, now you need to change that logic in whole three services, so that's not a good design. So we will look it with a code example. Like let's say you have checkout total, you have invoice total. They both say they both shares the same logic here. As you can see, the logic here is same, but you have written it two times, which is creating duplicate. So after dry refactor, apply discount. Now you can see checkout total and invoice total are using it. So here what we have said, the duplicate logic has been removed. Now you can easily change your discount logic whenever you want. Let's say your discount logic change, your discount percentages change. You can simply change it at once, and that will be applied to all services. So like this is what dry principle is. Now we will move to our next principle. Okay. So our next principle is KISS principle. So what KISS principle says, keep it simple, stupid. Prefer the simplest design that solves the problem. Simply means do not over engineer anything. Choose the optimized but the simplest way to reach that problem, to solve that problem. Why? Because you may understand the code in a better way, but the all engineers which will come to company, they might not be able to understand it. Okay, so keep it simple, code easier. Simple code is easier to debug, explain and maintain. Again same thing, accidental complexity is expensive and avoidable. Like just making code more complex can make it expensive and avoidable. Why? Because now everyone who is coming and seeing that code has to what they say, invest some time to know that code. Now this will take a lot of time, so that's why it is not preferred. Abstract only when there is a clear and immediate benefit. You should not abstract everything anytime. You should not make over like many functions each time. You should only do it whenever needed. Like a simple example of block search feature, where a product search engine requires classes with normalized, tokenized. Let's say you are using normalized, for normalization you use a class, you make a one for tokenization, one for search. Now to just search a simple keyword, you are using so much method, but instead you can use just one function which is strip and lowercase and query and put a query to find that product. So with code, if you go, as you can see here, you have make a one normalized function which strips it, then one tokenized function which splits the stripped function, and then you made the search function. Now same if you see here in a simple way, just strip and lowercase it and then search logic. It's simple, it's easy to understand, it's short. So this is what KISS principle says. Okay, so now we will be moving to our next principle, which is Yagni. What Yagni says? Yagni says build the feature which you only need. So what does it mean? As this graph shows, its simple meaning is, do you really need it right now? If not, skip it. Don't think about it. Don't overcomplicate. Don't at all touch that thing. Just build, skip it. And if you are going to need it right now, build it. Simple, nothing else. Keep your code future proof. But if you are not ready, you are not needing it right now, don't build it. That's what Yagni says. This is simple and very specific. Okay, with code we will understand. Let's say this is a CSV reading code. So now what we did here is we thought that it is a report exporter. We are reading CSV right now. So what we will do, we may need XML exporter in future. We applied its logic. We need a YAML reader. We applied its logic. But do we really need it right now? No, because why? Requirement is only for CSV, specific to CSV right now. So what we will do, we will directly write the CSV export code, and that's it. We may add in future, we may add that part, that function, that method in future, that we need to export XML or YAML or Excel or any other file. But as of now, we only need CSV, so we are only going to keep that much part. Okay. So now we will be moving to one of the most important topic of this design principle, solid principle, because it itself is the club of 5 principles. So yes, let's move on. So what solid principle says? So solid principle is a group of 5 principles for flexible, maintainable, object-oriented design. Okay. So S stands for single responsibility principle, which says one class, one reason to change. Okay, we will go deep dive in it. What O stands for open and close principle, which says open for extension, close for modification. Then L stands for Liskov substitution principle, which says subtype must honor parent contracts. Okay. Then comes interface segregation principle, preferred focus, minimal interface. Okay. Then D stands for dependency inversion, depends on abstraction, not concreteness. So we will deep dive into it one by one. So what single responsibility principle says? It says that one class handle business logic, database access, email, notification together. It became fragile and hard to maintain. So a class should only have one reason to change. What does it mean? That single responsibility principle says that one class should only take one responsibility. क्या मतलब इसका मतलब ये है एक क्लास सिर्फ एक ही रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी शेयर करेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि इससे क्या होगा, वेन एवर देयर आर मल्टीपल सर्विसेज, वेन एवर देयर इज मल्टीपल लॉजिक इन अ क्लास, so if there is a change coming to one single method, it will be applied to all the method which is shared by this class. So that's why this principle says that one class will take single responsibility, it will share only one single logic, it will be responsible for one service, that's all. This is the only reason, that is the only thing which single responsibility principle says. So we will understand it via code. So here is a code for single responsibility principle. So as you can see here, simply that this one class order service is responsible to save to DB, send email and create orders. Okay. So now let's say there is a change in create service. Now this whole class need to change. Let's say there is a change to email service, then this class need to change. So any changes coming to it, it needs to change the whole logic for the class. While what we can do, what single responsibility principle says, it says make different class for different purpose. For order services, make out separate class order repository whose only single work is to save the order. Make one for email, make one for invoice, and then use them in a single class. Call them in a single class, like make their object and create the order. So if any change come, you only need to change the class which is needed, not the whole code. Okay. So this is what single responsibilities principle say. Okay. So our next topic is open and close principle. What does it say? It says and class is open for extension but closed for modification. What does it say is you do not need to modify, you are not permitted to modify a code, a class unless it is necessary. You should just try to extend it. Why? Because it avoids the chance to hamper the previously written logic. It reduces the chance to break the previous version of the code. So that's why. So a simple example is, let's say you have a notification channel which sends message via email sender, SMS sender, push sender, and now you need to add some new sender, let's say WhatsApp or Telegram sender. So if you write its code in the same method, in same class, there is a chance that it may break the existing logic also. So other plugin, other sender also get affected because of that. So that's why if we extend it, then if any bug is there, then only WhatsApp or new interface which you are adding to it, only that breaks, not the previously written logic. So let's see by example. So as you can see, message sender, email, SMS and push logic. Now let's say you add WhatsApp here. It may risk. There is a risk. You cannot write say that there will be no risk. So अगर हम इस साइड देखेंगे तो हमने एक सेंडर इंटरफेस बनाया सिंपल, और अब हमने हर प्रिंसिपल, हर सेंडर जो बनाना है, जो हमें इम्प्लीमेंट करना है, लाइक ईमेल इम्प्लीमेंट करना है, ईमेल सेंडर, तो हमने उसको जस्ट इम्प्लीमेंट करा, एसएमएस को भी इम्प्लीमेंट करा। नाउ जो भी हमें नया चाहिए, लाइक व्हाट्सअप सेंडर हमें नया चाहिए था, तो हमने बस उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर दिया। सो व्हाट डज दिस इंश्योर इज we didn't touch any previously written knowledge, we just extended our functionality. So this is what open clause principle says. Now we can use that sender anywhere. We just need to extend that. We just need to send the type of object needed, and it will automatically send the message via that channel. So this is what open clause principle says. So our next topic is Liskov substitution principle. So what Liskov substitution principle says that the child class should always follow the contract of its parent class. So how does it benefit? What are the benefit of it? So let's say you it's make the code easy to understand, easy to replace. You can understand what the next class which have extended it is doing. It doesn't break the contract. Let's say a new developer come, he just sees the parent class, he know now that all child class are doing the same thing or have implemented what type of logic. But if you break the logic, then it may create a problem in his head, that why it is happening. So that's why it is important. Let's see with help of an example. Let's say you have a file storage class which saves the class, okay, and you are implemented a read only file storage. Now if you save here, so it's as it is only read only, you cannot save, so it will shows a exception which will originally break the contract, because as per the extended class it should save. So in this case what should be done? A separate class for storage, a separate interface for writable storage, which is again extended the storage. What does it do? It will give you the flexibility. How it will give you the flexibility? So that whenever you implement a storage where you need one of them, you can simply just use the write storage, which is again the which is extended from storage. So now you can use both of their functionality without breaking any contract. Okay, so this is what Liskov substitution method say. Okay, so our next principle is interface segregation method. What does it say? As its name says, interface segregation. It means that each functionality should be separated amongst the interface. How does it help? So let's say you have a automation, or you have let's say have a application which publish posts with write blogs. So what should be supported in this? What it should support? It should support writing post, editing post, let's say publish the post or comment on it. But if you implement all of them in a single interface, you say this all things I am going to give in a single interface and the user is going to use it, it will implement the method which they want, otherwise they will throw the exception. But what it unnecessarily create is a mess. How? Because user don't want to implement it, but he has to. It will also break the Liskov substitution method and solid principle, and break other principles also. So that's why we need to segregate the interfaces. Let's see with the help of a example in code. So as you can see here, in a content of, you have a create post, edit post, publish post, view analytic, where writer shouldn't need this. Like if I am creating and editing, I may create, edit and stop for some time and may publish it afterwards. Or I don't need to post it, I am just creating and editing just for an example, just to go through the interface you have built. So what we will do to resolve this, what interface segregation says make a post writer which will have two functionality: create post, edit post. You may further segregate them into two more interface like create post, edit post, but anyways I have just created for two, and then segregate the other two functionality like publish, analyze, comment, and other things. So how it will help? You can just implement the things you need. Okay. Now the next one is the next and the last one is dependency inversion. What does it say? It says high level module should not depend on low level concreteness. Both should depend on abstraction. What does it mean? You will not directly write any logic. You should always be dependent on an interface. You should make interface for each and every logic you are building. How does it help? As it makes your code more extensible and more maintainable. Okay, it automatically allows you to follow other principles. Like, let's go with the code. So let's say you have a order notification services where you have a Gmail service and you write a tightly coupled code to write the Gmail service and you send the Gmail. Now you need to switch to Slack or you need to add WhatsApp to it. It's mess. Now you need to change the logic. It will violate the open close principle now. So instead of writing a tightly coupled code, what you will do? What you will do is you will write a abstract class for messaging services which have the method send, and you will have a Gmail service written separately which will be extended the message service. And so now if you need to extend to WhatsApp or what we say Slack or any other thing, you can just simply implement the message service for Slack or WhatsApp, whatever you need, and you can now easily switch to Slack with that help. Okay, so to use that message service, Gmail service, now here instead of Gmail you can use Slack service or let's say WhatsApp service and simply use notifier here. So this is what solid principle says. I hope this is clear to everyone. So how they work together? What dry says? It says one source of truth. It prevent the mistake of copy paste logic. Price example as we have seen is pricing, validation, formatting. KISS principle, what it says simplicity first. It's avoid the unnecessary abstraction of the code. Okay, while Yagni only allows you to build what's actually needed rather than premature feature development, which will again adds on to your cost, adds on to your time of development and other thing. What solid says flexible OOPS design and tight avoids tightly coupling and unclear roles. I hope everything is clear. Now we will discuss about design principles. We have discussed about design principle. We will be moving on to the design patterns. So in next video we will talk about them.